The World Latte Art Championship just shot itself in the foot, and they might have either ruined the entire thing or perhaps they'll grow a new foot, and then they'll have 3 feet and we'll be in the dawn of a new era for coffee competitions. Unlikely. So what's going on? Well, the SCA, the Specialty Coffee Association, which is a globally recognized nonprofit that brings people together through education, through community, through events, and just standardizing coffee as a whole. The SCA also owns the WCC, which sounds like wrestling, but it actually stands for World Coffee Competition, in which there are 7 competitions where competitors can compete for basically the world championship in all the categories. You have barista, you have Brewers Cup, roasters, you have coffee and good spirits, and there are a few more, but of course you have the one that is affected by this change, the World Championship for Latte Art. They just signed a new contract for their main espresso machine provider for this competition with this. Yeah, that's not good. This is the equivalent feeling of when your parents say they're not mad at you, they're just disappointed, and then they proceed to ground you and take away all your toys and electronics and replace it with super automatic espresso machines. And if you didn't already know, super automatic espresso machines, they do everything for you. They prep the shot, they steam the milk. The only thing they don't actually do is the latte art. So that's actually still up to the barista. I'm waiting for the announcement for 2025 when competitors will be forced to bust out a couple Mr. Coffees for the World Brewers Cup. And you know they're pissed about the way people are receiving this. The reception is terrible, and you can tell because they silenced the comments, which is pretty spicy to begin with, but the fact that they did that just kind of shows they don't want the discussion to happen. The company that is providing these machines is called Thermoplan, and I don't have any personal opinion of them. They look a little crazy, and they have what's called a steam lance for the kids. This is also the same company that provides Starbucks with their machines, and you can tell with a comparison. Look at those steam lances. Look at them. They're exactly the same. So why the hell did the SCA do this to their beloved competition? From what I've heard from other people online talking about this, in these scenarios, it can go one of 2 ways. It can just be a direct sponsorship, or it can be a bid. So somebody is going to place a bid, and the highest bidder, obviously that's how bidding works, wins that spot. And that happened to be Thermoplan this year. And it kind of makes sense because if they're working with Starbucks, I'm assuming they're a big company. In the past, we've had companies like La Marzocco and Simonelli with the Black Eagle, really showcasing these mighty machines that you would see in specialty shops. And now we have this. So I don't know. But the really rough part about this sponsorship is that it's not just a year. It's 4 years. It's from 2024 to 2027. This is like if we had Thermoplan run for president, but we didn't actually get a choice on the vote. And over the years, we've seen a bunch of different machines get better and better and better that are super automatic. Like, for instance, Eversys, or even Thermoplan, Thermopro Plan, or whatever they're called. Heck, I've had way worse coffee at some specialty shops than I've ever had at a Starbucks, so I assume it can make coffee, and I assume it can steam milk. It's not about the capability of the machine. If that machine was a press and go, which it is, and it made the milk perfect and made the coffee perfect, which it might, it's fine, but that's not what this competition is about. This is a craft competition. And the other half of this issue is how it affects latte art as a whole in our industry. I think personally this further amplifies all the spite that latte art gets as a craft within our industry. And you've probably heard it before, you've probably said it before, but the quintessential saying that everyone likes to say is, it looks great, but taste matters most. And I always feel like, yeah, duh, of course it matters most. Who was making it bad? It is not a one subject medium. Just because you like latte art does not mean that you don't love coffee. In fact, it usually means you do love coffee. There's always an asterisk next to latte art, but there's a big stigma in the coffee industry, and I think this adds to it. I think that a lot of people that make latte art think that they're seen as lesser, and it's not about just the pour. It's about the making the espresso. It's about making sure it's perfect. It's about making sure the milk is perfect. It's about being able to interact with your guest while you do it. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but it really means a lot. It's just having super automatic machines on stage to represent just this competition does feel like a slap in the face to people that care about this craft. And doing so, you're directly robbing the barista that loves their craft from the craft. You're taking it away from them. And you're adding to the stigma of tunnel vision, latte artist, which is a shitty stigma. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's a really great machine and maybe the competitors are gonna love it. I wonder if it recalibrates itself mid-comp if you get a buy to the next day. We're really excited to see what's gonna happen here. Okay, so as I was editing this video, I saw a post from another creator that goes by Bayaireus on Instagram. You should definitely check out his page. And Bayaireus was talking about the efficacies of being closely tied to a company like Starbucks by supporting Thermal Plus.
Everything you do tells a story in relation to your brand. CA using Thermoplan AG doesn't make any fucking sense, because like that is a brand that is inherently so tied to Starbucks. If my ethos is to uplift and support farmers and create sustainability, I would want to align myself with a brand that's so far removed from what Starbucks represents. And like Starbucks and Thermoplan are like a joint unit basically.
That's a great point. I agree with him completely. We are talking about aligning ourselves with a company that is so connected, intertwined, if anything, with another company that has actually done a lot of harm to the things that we promote justice for, literally on stage. Now, if you are a part of the SCA and you helped make this decision, I have a question for you. My only question to you is if you believe that this was the right move and that we should be excited for this as competitors and people, would you be willing to put this machine on the barista competition stage? And I bet you know in your gut just how far-fetched that would be. Maybe it's time to drop the S from SCA. And maybe I'm being too mean. It's hard to say. We'll see in the next 4 years. I know this video won't get many views, but I believe it's important to stand up for yourself. For example, myself, I believe that if you walk into a coffee shop and you're on your phone when you try to order, that you should be charged with January 6th crimes. It's just what I believe. Remember guys to like and sub if you like coffee and you are a dirty scumbag.